My name is Brian Ree, and I will be going to Chicago.
My name is Charlie Hadeen. I'm moving to Atlanta, Georgia.
My name is Lydia. I'll be going to Chicago.
My name is Chris Kim. I'll be going back to Chicago.
Hi, I'm Sebastian. I'm gonna be going to Chicago, and I'm gonna be a Spanish teacher.
Sobol Thomas. I'll be working as CNA.
My name is Eileen Rue, and I'm gonna go back home to Chicago.
My name is Jessica Kim, and I'll be going to Korea in the fall, and I'll be teaching English.
My name is Jenny Kim, and I'll be moving to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
My name is Liz, and next year I will hopefully be reporting or anchoring somewhere in the US.
My freshman year, I went to like a 9:30 service or something, and I was really hungry, and I remember I packed some food in my purse beforehand, and I wasn't really accustomed, I think, to the CFC culture that, you know, the Lord's Day is the Lord's Day, and it's a very formal, I don't know, it's like a sanctuary, you know, even though we're in a gym, it's a sanctuary, and I think I wasn't used to that. I was used to like it being very casual, and so one of the foods I packed was a peach. And so I pulled out my peach from my purse and I was like chomping on it during 9:30 service. I was like spilling juice everywhere, like dripping juice like on my all my arms and stuff like that. And I'm sure it was like really distracting. And I didn't think anything of it, but like someone like texted me in the middle of it and was like, are you really eating a peach at 9:30 service? And I think I was so embarrassed and mortified then because I wasn't aware, but I think that's like an embarrassing memory.
CFC is the first church that I've ever went to, and the first summer when I started going to Bible studies with these friends that invited me out the first time, I didn't actually own a Bible, and so I was like, well, if I'm gonna go to Bible study, I should probably get my own. And so I actually went to a Barnes & Noble, and so I just picked up the first one that was pretty cheap and kind of reasonably sized. And then I brought it back and I texted my friend and I was like, hey, I got a Bible today. I actually got a King James version. And so they were like, dude, you should just return that right now. Like, we use NIV here. And so I felt really dumb, but that just shows, like, I think just how far I've come since then.
So thankful for Pastor Min and his sermons and just how deep he goes into the Word, and it's taught me just how rich the Bible can be and filled with so many treasures that will help me in my life. And for Miss Kim, I'm just so thankful for her prayers that she's just devoted her whole life to praying for CFC, and I know that it's because of her prayers that I've been able to come so far from freshman year until now.
I thank Pastor Min for just being real all the time, just being honest with everyone.
I see like consistency, like being rooted in the Word, being rooted in the prayer is just something that you guys always been like constantly shoving, trying to get us to, trying to feed us through that.
Thank you for all the pastors and staff, you know, who really, you know, poured their lives for, you know, us undergrad and us college students, and just thankful for this church and just, you know, its faithfulness to, you know, raise kingdom workers that will be able to, you know, do great things for the world.
And I just can't thank you enough for the wisdom and prayers that you have provided for me throughout my years here at CFC, and even before CFC, when I was at JGen, I've heard your sermons just change my life and change the way how I view the world.
I just learned so much. It's challenged me so much. It's made me go so much deeper into my relationship with God.
I just continue to be challenged by each and every time I see her, just by her heart, and even like I said, like during like worship services, like revivals, things like that, she's always up in the front, jumping around with all the little kids too. So I think just seeing that heart of just wanting to worship God and love God, even at where she's at now, I think that's such a blessing. So I just want to thank both Pastor Min, all the associate pastors, as well as Miss Kim for everything they've done, all their prayers.
One of the challenges that I'm gonna go through as I go back home, I think, is that I won't have the community that keeps pushing me and tells me honestly what I need to work on.
Adjusting to work life and just adjusting to being at home and learning to live with my parents again. I've been living by myself and with other people for so long.
Is when I'm entering a professional setting, being firm in my beliefs, being firm that I'm a believer, I'm a daughter of God, because I think I'll definitely want to make an impression as a professional, or as like being friendly and wanting to make friends and all these different things and wanting to make a good impression, but not compromising my beliefs or compromising who I am.
Definitely, I won't have the great, strong accountability that I have here, so it's definitely going to be hard, just making my faith my own and continuing to grow, especially without having a strong support system.
The industry that I'm heading into is very cynical. It's very, I mean, you're facing real news, you're reporting real news every day, and I think it's very easy to get jaded by murders. It's very easy to get jaded by just news that you hear every day because it becomes so commonplace when you report on them.
The main things I will be fearing is that Christianity or like my faith will become something that, just something mundane, as in like I'll just go to Sunday service and that's good enough. And I think one of the main things that I worry about a lot is that I'll continue to settle more and more about my faith, whether it's praying and like whether it's reading my Bible, whether it's Sundays is enough. But in a sense of like what CFC kind of like rooted me in, it's like, you know, normal Christianity is really not about just going to church on Sundays, but it's really something really more than that.
Can I find again a community like this in terms of its prayer life, how much it pushes the members of the church, how much it challenges the members of the church, but also on a more personal level. I think it's been 20, 40, 60 years down the line, will I still be faithful? Will I still have that passion, have that same kingdom vision that I want to live out? So that's definitely been something on my mind.
I think one thing I'm going to take with me as I go back home will be prayer, and more prayer.
I think one thing that I really learned at CFC was that it's okay to fall, but the importance of just getting up and repenting and humbly asking God to help you and give you strength.
Especially through my past co-leaders and leaders and small group members and ministry members and just all these different people who just showed me so much love and care that I've never even seen before when I came to CFC. And a lot of that impacted my life because it just showed a whole other side of what it means to be a Christian rather than just going to church.
The idea that you're constantly serving, like serving is not a position, but it's something that you do constantly. It's something that should be on your mind all the time, whether it's in your class, whether it's your roommates, whether it's anywhere you go. I think just being in the mindset that you're serving anybody and everybody at every moment.
I think one way that CFC really impacted me, and I know it'll stay in my future, is its belief in maximal living. I think as a college student, it's really easy to compartmentalize. You have your academic life, your social life, your personal life, your church life, but I think CFC really emphasized that God doesn't want just one aspect of your life, but He really wants every part of your life, every corner of your heart.
I think one of the biggest things that I learned while attending CFC is just the importance of repentance and what it means to have a true and real relationship with God. And before I used to just be a Sunday goer. I went to church because my parents told me to, but after coming here I realized that God is really someone who's real and someone who wants to have a relationship with His children.
At the time, I was going through a really dry spell in my faith, and I was looking for some kind of sign that like God was still with me or God still cared about me in some way. And it was during the prayer time, one of the final nights of after worship, and it was in that moment when the gospel just was reawakened and refreshed in my heart, and I felt like this really intimacy with Christ, knowing that He was still walking with me. And that even through that transition that I had made from Michigan to Illinois, that His hand was still in that, and that His hand was still over my life.
The prayer time, how He was saying how there's as we have sinned, we fight, we battle, but then God is so much bigger, and God's so big in sin, and the devil is so small, and how when we fight sin, when we have sin, we don't realize that God's already won, that God's so powerful, and that even when it's so hard to fight sin, we should know that that God is already won, and God's so much greater and bigger.
Never, ever, 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 ever quit. Always say, but God. And hang around the throne. Speak to him always, wherever you are, because you're in the throne. Wherever you are in the corner of the earth, you're on the throne. Speak to him and listen to him and receive power. And one heart at a time, let's conquer the world.
It's not about your feeling. In fact, within you can find tremendous happiness, joy, if you keep on going by God.